Topic isn't new, but as time goes on, the news just seems to be getting more and more depressing. Is that true? You have to ask, is the news too negative? The topic of discussion here in the Press Association of Jamaica Week, one of, because they talk about several things. We've got TVJ Director Dion Jackson Miller, who just cannot seem to get away from being...
I know, right?
George is traveling, Dion is here, but maybe if George were here, Dion would still be here. So she's giving us all the angles this morning. How are you?
I'm good, I'm
good. Good
good.
morning. Thank you for being with us so early. We know your days are long and you work hard, but it's good to have you. We're just talking, and I feel like we've been talking about this forever. Certainly from my days at Carmack, this was a thing about news being a construct and angles and perspectives and gatekeeping and all the rest of it. What has changed in the last 10 years?
Well, one of the things is that, you know, you always have new generations coming up. So you do have to continue to have conversations because people look at things now with new eyes through new media and so on. And it's one of the reasons we chose it for our topic for our public forum this evening, which is at the Pegasus at 6 p.m. And it's free, so y'all should come. But I think one of the things, Simone, is that people don't, I think, understand how a news story is chosen. That has always been an issue. That two of the critical, what we call news values, for instance, impact. How many people does it affect? And is there an element of conflict and controversy? Because those engage the listeners and the viewers. So, for instance, a Jamaican this year, got the highest marks in CXC in accounts, right? And that's awesome. Should it be in the bulletin? Sure. Should it be the lead? No.
Where will it fall?
Exactly, because it doesn't impact the entire Jamaica or hundreds or thousands of people. And in terms of controversy, there is none there. It's a nice little feel-good story, and big up to the the ardent student, that Rhea Salmon, I think it is, that you are going to put in the bulletin, but where does it fall? A lot of the people, Simone, by the time they finish, we would have a newscast that none of them would watch or listen to.
Which is interesting because some of the same people saying, my God, this is too much, it's too negative, can you guys do something positive? So are we therefore saying that by its very nature, news is that thing that is bad?
A lot of it is. That's
the reality of it.
But that is the reality. And that's part of our job. We're to report on corruption. We're to report on impact. If Hurricane Dorian kills 50 people in the Bahamas, how do you not report that? If 4 kids are killed in a traffic accident, how do you not report that? A lot of the news is negative. It just is by its very nature and by the nature of the news values. But having said that, news has changed over the years. When you look at the composition of a bulletin compared to what it was 20 or 30 years ago, it is different.
Do we have studies on that?
Not in Jamaica, but I know there are elsewhere. And in fact, a lot of the changes, for instance, were due, for instance, in the United States, to viewer and listener feedback in terms of what was in the news. So now you're seeing health, you're seeing entertainment news, you're seeing things on the environment. Some of those issues weren't covered in the way they're covered today, years ago. So we do listen to the public. There are those changes, but there's still that underlying issue of what makes a lead story, what makes it into the first half of a bulletin.
That's probably something that we need to educate listeners and viewers on, because when they hear the news, they just hear the news and not thinking about the production behind it, and not thinking about news values. They don't know about news values.
And the quarrels in the newsroom, you know, what should lead.
Right. It's an issue. Okay, so what about impact on audience? Now, which I'm reading a lot of stories that talk about news on mental health. Which is mental health is a new thing that we're talking about now, but they say it's likely to distort people's view of the world, to affect their mental health. I think about the audience. I think about the reporters and the journalists as well.
And in fact, we just had a counseling session here at RGR for journalists, for instance. And that's something that I know a lot of people have been calling on to do more of that. But you're correct. We need to think about these things, and we always need to think about how can we do it better, even within the kind of framework that I've been talking about. And that's part of the reason we're having the forum this evening, so we can listen to what people are saying.
Okay, give us the forum information again, and a prips as to what's going to be happening for the week.
6 p.m. at the Pegasus, today, free, open to the public. Wednesday's Veterans Luncheon. We go to Mandeville tomorrow with the same forum. We also go to Montego Bay, talk to students there. And Saturday, of course, the big one, which is the National Journalism Awards show and after party.
All right. Sounds like a great week.
And you must come.
Of course. Of course. I'm usually at the
awards show.
At the awards show. So you'll see me there. Probably hunting the same place with you to find a dress. Director, every year. Director of the Press Association of Jamaica, Deon Jackson Miller. Important topic, guys. So if you can't make it today at 6, please go and be a part of that discussion. We have an extended break, news, and then some commercials. A little time for you to get ready and check back in when we come back from Studio B. We'll be right back.